Welcome back, everyone. It is Monday, April 21st in the NBA, and I have 4 picks for you guys in the 2 NBA playoff games. We've got 2 game 2s. A lot of twos going on, but let's talk about these 2 games. We have the Knicks playing host to the Pistons once again, and the Nuggets playing host to the Clippers. We'll see the Clippers and Pistons both try to even up these series. But if you are new, my name's Austin. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we begin with a recap of how we did yesterday, and we went up 0.17 units. In fact, on Saturday, we went down 0.17 units. A Sunday, we went up 0.17. So I washed on the weekend. Let's talk about our 2 props in the video yesterday. Duncan's over in points and Fred VanVleet's under in points. Both smacked. Duncan came through in the third. Fred, I don't know why he continued to shoot. I think he shot 4 for 19, but man, he was breaking up a lot of shots, which we love to see. I did have a Jason Tatum over. Speaking of breaking up shots, he was in there. And our 2 long shot parlays for both 0.1 units, both lost. But a profitable day nonetheless. Let's try to do it once over again today on Monday to kick off the week. As you guys should know, if you've been watching these videos, I've been limiting our unit sizes in the playoffs. Playoffs, the lines are really sharp and game plans switch game to game. So we'll see how these teams adjust from game 1 into game 2. We'll try our best in these 2 games, and hopefully we can deliver some winners for you guys. At the end of the video, I do have an Underdog fantasy entry. A reminder on Underdog, you can use my code COS or the link at the top of the description. They will match your deposit up to $1,000. It's free money. Take advantage. Today's free pick is Giannis. I believe is over just him to score 1 point. So technically Giannis doesn't play till tomorrow. They might give you a different one. Regardless, if you sign up using my code COS, you'll get that deposit match up to $1,000 and a free pick. Not sure who it will be. Probably Giannis, but take advantage of that. We'll have an underdog slip at the end of the video that you can tail if you seek. Let's dive into our first play. We'll begin in the Pistons in Knicks game, and I really like Dennis Schroeder over 12.5 points plus assists, which is currently minus 106 on FanDuel. Now, Dennis Schroeder didn't have the best game 1. Nor did the Pistons in the fourth quarter, but I think this is a spot where we see his minutes tick up a little bit, and I could see him playing a little bit. Heck, if he even plays as many minutes as he did in game 1, I'd be happy, which was 26. Now, he did not come through in game 1. He ended with 11. He had 8 field goal attempts, missed some of his shots, ended with 8 points, missed a free throw in there. Did have 3 assists on 5 potential assists. Now, if there was something I noticed watching as a New York Knicks fan, what the Knicks did was, hey, Cade Cunningham, we're putting OG Anunoby on you, our best defender. Number 2, we're doubling you. We're not letting you beat us. And Cade still got up 21 shots. But again, if he called for a screen from Jalen Duren or any other centers, whoever the center was on the court was doubling Cade Cunningham. And I wouldn't be shocked. It worked in game 1. Why not do it again? And what happened was in that fourth quarter, the Pistons went awry. They could not keep the hands on the ball. And what happened? They turned it over way too much. And I think a guy that you can put in that could limit those turnovers is Dennis Schroeder, especially if you have Schroeder setting some screens, because Schroeder's going to be defended by Jalen Brunson. And I think you'll see Dennis potentially slip out of those screens. Brunson's going to want to hedge. He's not wanting to guard Cade. And we could see Cade dump it off to Dennis Schroeder. And where you're getting a mismatch going downhill. And I think Dennis will score and be a little bit more efficient than he was in game 1. But at the end of the day, this is a guy that when he plays 20 or more minutes, and he's played with Cade Cunningham over this line in 11 of 14 games, 2 of his misses did come against the Knicks. But I look at this as a spot where JB Bickerstaff leans on a guy like Schroeder, who's number 1, a very good defender. And number 2, he's played in a lot of big games. We know he's played in the Olympics plenty of times before, played in those big games. I think they need him out there, especially if Asur Thompson can get into foul trouble again. Or not. Asur Thompson, not a guy they want to play make for other teammates. So again, I see a guy like, if we're going to double Cade, we want another playmaker out there, and Dennis Schroeder is their second best playmaker. So I really like his over 12.5 points plus assists. Could be today's Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome, what a crazy game yesterday. I don't think he scores 28 points, but I do like Dennis Schroeder to fill it up, whether that's points and assists, setting up his teammates. They just don't have anyone else besides Cade that can set up their teammates and also make their own shot. It's just not a lot of guys out there for him. I think Dennis Schroeder's their second best guy, besides Cade, who, again, will likely get doubled. Second play of the day will be one that will look familiar. Nikola Jokic over 27.5 points, minus 110 on ESPN Bet. This was minus 114 on FanDuel. Another half unit play. So not going anything too crazy. We did ladder him up in the first game of the series to 35 points. You can do that today if you want. I'm not going to do it. If he hits it, I'll be a little bit mad, but we'll still have cashed our regular play, so I won't be too mad there. I really like the Joker. Look, he struggled to get that 28th point that we needed in game 1. And I understand why he struggled, because it was getting doubled nonstop. But is that the recipe for success for the Clippers, doubling Nikola Jokic? I don't think so. I mean, when the Clippers were leading in game one, they were letting Jokic go one-on-one, playing good defense with Zubac, and living with the results. But when they started doubling, they're giving up wide open looks to guys like Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown. Sure, Russell Westbrook, double off him. I get it. You can double off him, and they didn't have any Michael Porter Jr. in there either. So I could see MPJ, who kind of got attacked in the press conferences. They basically said, hey, man, he wasn't giving us effort. Yet imagine he gives you some effort today, especially on the defensive side. And if MPJ's in the game, not as easy to double because you're not doubling off him. He's their best shooter by far. And so I see Jokic again getting a lot of volume. We talked about him in game one. I thought they would play him one-on-one, and they did for the first three quarters, hence why Jokic entered the fourth with 25 points. And heck, they were even down in that situation. And then they started doubling, and Jokic really was just dishing it to his teammates. Hence why he really struggled to get to that point mark. But again, we've looked at the 4 games that he's played against them this season: 26, 24, 9, and 24 field goal attempts. That 9 was a game they blew him out. The other games have all been tight, and he's shooting the basketball. And we've seen this season, he has played 16 games with the Nuggets fully healthy and 18 plus field goal attempts, which, like I said, 18 plus is pretty low. I think he could easily get back to the 24. I don't even know if he had a field goal attempt in the last 7 minutes. In overtime, he didn't have a single one. In the last 4 minutes of playing time, he didn't have a single one either. Got to the free throw line, but whatever. In those games where he shot 18 or more times with the Nuggets fully healthy, he's over this line in 11 of 16, going over and scoring average about 32 points per game. So again, I get it. We took it in game one, but I really don't think the Clippers' recipe for success here is doubling Jokic. He's the best, one of the best, if not the best passer in the NBA. He's got guys cutting to the hoop nonstop, and you're giving him wide open shots. I get it, Russell Westbrook, but giving them to Christian Brown, which did an OT, Aaron Gordon as well in the dunker spot. Just don't think that's a recipe for success. If I'm the Clippers and Ty Lue, I am living with Jokic beating us one-on-one. I get it. We could double him if Chris Dunn gets on him, but if it's Batum, it's Kawhi Leonard, it's one of those guys. We got to live with the results there. We can't be giving up wide open dunks or wide open 3-pointers, unless it's maybe Russ, which I get it. But I really like Jokic's over in points tonight. I think it's another great spot. I think the Clippers have a good chance at winning that one. I'd probably lean towards the Clippers on the money line. If the Clippers are potentially winning, Jokic is going to get some even more usage, kind of like he did in that third quarter when he scored 12 points, and then they doubled him nonstop in the fourth, and then the Clippers lost their lead. Don't know what they were doing. I understand it, but don't think that's a recipe for success. Next play, Dub Club exclusive. We've lost a couple in a row. Today is smacking. It's an under in points. It's in the Knicks Pistons game. It's hitting. If you want to join the Dub Club, you get $10 off your first month. Links down below. Makes it $5 a month. Get on in there. Get the plays early. Get the Dub Club exclusive plays, which are going to get on a hot streak once again. Lost, I think, 2 or 3 in a row. They're going to get hot. Now's the time to join if you haven't joined already. Also get the ladder challenge alive early, which we'll post once again today. My final play of the day, though, is going to be a 2-leg parlay. And then we'll get into our underdog slip. Let's talk with these two fellows who I don't like their matchups today, at least for what I'm taking them for. Josh Hart under 15.5 points and James Harden under 3.5 threes. Now, you put these two together, it's minus 109 on FanDuel. I could argue I could maybe make this a ladder challenge, but I won't do that. We'll just stick to this minus 109 on FanDuel, a 2-leg parlay, playing both for a half unit. Well, not both legs for a half unit, putting them together for a half unit. Now, I put in there in the little box down there, it's both alt lines. I know Josh Hart is not 15.5 points. He's technically at 12.5. But I'll buy a couple points there, and I'll buy 1 3-pointer for James Harden. I don't think James makes 4. Now, this did not cash in the first games of the series. Josh Hart did. His line, he ended with 13. James ended up making his 4th 3 in overtime. But I like to fade these two guys. Now, for Josh Hart, it's pretty simple. Where does he score his points? In the paint and in transition. One, that's a very tough spot to score in the paint against the Pistons. Number 2, scoring in transition, not as easy either. He just happened to get 8 points in the fourth quarter because the Pistons couldn't hold their hands on the ball. They kept turning it over. Josh Hart kept getting layup. I just don't know if this is a great spot for him. So I'll fade him. I don't like Josh Hart at all in this spot. And then as for James Harden's under in threes, James had a very good game one, but it's not settling for threes. And I don't think they want him to settle for threes. Like I said, he made his 4th in OT, but I don't see this as a spot where he's settling for 9, 10, 12 3-point attempts. He gets to the hoop and that's what he should be doing. So with Zubac rolling to the hoop, puts the defense in harm's way. If they want to double him, they got shooters in the corner. I don't think this is a spot where James shoots a ton of threes. I think he needs to be attacking the hoop. If he wants to settle for threes, I'm fine with it. Him making 4 hit more often than not on the road this season. I like his under those. So these two under 15.5 points, under 3.5 threes for Josh Hart and James Harden, respectively. I think that is a winner. So to recap the official plays on the card before we dive into the underdog slip, we have that parlay. Josh under 15.5 points, James under 3.5 threes. If you're like Austin, I can't take this. I don't have alt lines on my book. I don't have FanDuel. I would take the regular lines at 12.5 and 2.5, but probably drop it down to like a quarter unit. So I would go that way. And then our other plays, our official straight bets of the day, Dennis Schroeder's over in points plus assists, Nikola Jokic over in points, and our Dub Club exclusive and under in points today in the Pistons and Knicks game. You can find that $10 off your first month. So check that out. Finally, let's get into our underdog slip. You reminder, you can use code COS, $1,000 deposit match bonus. Check that out, as well as you get a free pick like this Giannis one you could throw into this little slip. Here we go. This is what I like today. I'm actually sticking just in the Knicks and Pistons game, the game that I will 100% watch the whole game of. Can't guarantee I'm watching the whole Nuggets Clippers game. I certainly will try. But here, I like Jalen Brunson once again. I think he has a big game. You could take his alt line at 25 plus, but I think he scores 30 plus today. Josh Hart's in there fading Mikal Bridges, who I just don't trust him a whole lot. He got benched for campaign in the last game. Don't love this matchup for him. Also fading Karl-Anthony Towns, so I just don't think he's in for a good matchup. I think the Pistons will once again live with Jalen Brunson beating them one-on-one. They probably think we should have won that game if we didn't turn it over 100 times. I think they'll live with Jalen Brunson beating them one-on-one. I also don't love Malik Beasley today. I get it. He made 6 threes, but majority of those came in the first half. They started to defend him a little bit better in the second half. They'll need a scoring out there, but I think the Knicks are more keen in slowing down Malik Beasley. They'll live with Tobias Harris beating them and those other guys. So, and I think Cade probably has a better game. I still like Dennis Schroeder a lot, but I think Malik Beasley is probably not scoring 20 again. If he does, tip the cap there. $20 on that puppy turns into 87. Like 4x, 4.5x your money. Pretty solid. Those are my picks. Let's have a wonderful Monday. Good start to the week. Again, limiting our units in the postseason. It's not worth putting 1-2 units on plays. It just isn't. The NBA playoffs are super sharp. They're hard to predict. And you either cook or you get cooked. And even if we get cooked, we're down at half unit plays. So getting cooked really isn't going to deplete our bankroll a ton. So that's why I'm doing it like that. If we get hot, cool. Even better. We're building up the bankroll. But again, let's stick to that. A reminder, I will have the ladder challenge live in a little bit later on this afternoon. I will try to cook up one probably in that Knicks and Pistons game. We'll see. No guarantees. I'll figure that out. Either way, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll cook up a ladder. Hopefully that cook wins for us. Yesterday's just was a bad read, which is going to happen. Like I said, it is really hard to cash a ladder, especially in game one. So again, we'll try to cook up a winner. A reminder, I'm not tracking it towards the record because I feel like earlier this season, I have decided, well, we track it towards the record. Now I got a unit on the line. Oh no, I already have a unit on this guy. I don't want to have 2 units on it. So I wanted to avoid my favorite plays. I don't want to do that. So you might see some overlap in the plays in the video, as you will in the ladder challenge. We'll figure that out when it is live. I'll link it on the screen. Our MLB video is live on the screen as well. We're about to get on a heater in the MLB. I can feel it. Hopefully today's the 3-0 sweep. I'll have a great Monday, and I'll see you guys back again in the next one. Hopefully you had a happy Easter, and I'll see you guys back again tomorrow with some more picks. See you then. Peace.